I went from being completely broke to building multiple businesses and flipping multiple properties every single month. I've made millions of dollars in the last 10 years, but it didn't start that way. It started by breaking bad money habits. In this video, I'm gonna show you the 8 money habits that are keeping you poor and how you can break free from those habits starting today. If you don't fix these habits, it doesn't matter how much money you make because you're always gonna feel broke. But if you do, you can literally buy your freedom. Bad money habit number 1 is paying yourself last. And this goes personally, and this also goes in business too. I've talked to many entrepreneurs over the last decade, and most of them will tell you that they pay their employees, they pay their office space, they pay this thing, that thing, and then they pay themselves last. And they're working like slaves. They're working 24/7 to run their business, manage their business, pay for their employees, keep food on the table for their family, and they're always paying themselves last. And what I've noticed and what I've learned over their many years of running different companies is that if you pay yourself first as the entrepreneur and you know that yourself is taken care of, it allows you to think a little bit more freely and allows you to run the business with a little bit more clarity, without just trying to pinch pennies at the end of the month to see how much money you can make and how much money is going to go into your personal bank account after everybody has been paid. And if you don't have a business, the same thing happens personally. We get the check from our job, right? Then we pay for our rent. Then we put some money away for property taxes if you do that. Then we pay for our insurance bill. Then we pay for dinners and credit cards. And then after we get that money coming in from our job, we end up with nothing at the end of the month. And that's really deflating because the next day you go back into work and you're working for this paycheck and then you don't really like your job all that much. And then you have this money coming in, but at the end of the month, you're left with absolutely nothing if you actually sit down and run the numbers. So what rich people do is they pay themselves first. Okay, so this is whether you have a business or whether you're just starting out, you got your first job. I want you to pay yourself first. Know that yourself is taken care of, and then all the other expenses will come in after that. But you are the most important person in your life. So you should be taking care of yourself. You should be paying yourself first in your business and personally. I want you to create a little side bank account that you pay yourself, whether that's the income from your job. Put some money into savings just for you right off the top. Then all the expenses come in after that, right? So if we're making $10,000 a month, I want you to take that couple $1,000s every single month and use those funds to invest. And there are actually a ton of studies that this works, okay? There was one law called the Parkinson's Law. Work expands to fill the time allotted. The same happens with money. Spending expands to match your income. This means that it doesn't matter if you make $3K or $30,000 a month. If you don't pay yourself first, you're gonna have the 30 grand come in and you're gonna blow it all. You know, after a couple of years, for example, of doing this, you're gonna look down at the bank account and be like, where did all that money go? I was making $350,000 a month for months and months and months and months in a row, right? And I was taking all of that and investing it, like $300,000 a month in income coming to me, personal income per month. I was taking $250,000 and boom, putting it into some investments. Obviously those investments will split up into multiple different things, which we'll talk about in another video, but $250,000 a month. And then the $50,000 was just for covering the expenses. So the money was coming into my personal account, boom, I immediately moved it over to my investment account, $250,000 in investment account, and that was being invested. All right, so I want you to do the same thing, no matter if it's 3K coming in, 30K coming in. And if you run a business, pay yourself first before everybody else. Take that money and put that into an investment account outside of your business. Bad habit number 2 is justifying purchases to get credit card points. And you probably went to dinner with friends and family and they say, I'll use my card, I like the points. Those people, unless they're super financially savvy and they have a ton of income coming in, they're paying themselves first, they have this side bucket, unless they're doing that and they're really financially savvy, which 99% of the population is, never do this. Never be the person that offers to pay for the meal because you want the extra credit card points. Only put purchases on your credit card that you can pay off immediately, okay? I don't want you to forecast future income coming in. For example, if you have $3,000 in credit card debt, you have $3,000 in the bank and you have $3,000 of money coming in, you cannot spend any more money on your credit card. I don't care if you think your friends are gonna pay you back for dinner. I don't want you to spend any more money just for the credit card points, all right? It's not worth a risk. It's not worth a liability for the situation that you are in. Let your friends or family members take care of the bill and you can just Venmo them, Zelle them, however payment methods you have in your country. You can send them the money for your portion of the meal after. And typically what I've noticed, I don't know if you have too, but typically the person who ever ends up paying for the full bill spends a little bit more than everybody else. They have the taxes and tip and all this kind of stuff that just people don't factor in when they send in the funds. So just do yourself a favor. Don't give yourself the extra stress. Don't do it for the points, please. That can come at a later part in life when you have your own business or you have, fuck you money coming in. You can deal with the points later. And I have some other videos coming. I'm gonna share like different things that I've spent my 10 million points on, but that's for another video. Don't worry about this right now. We wanna just get rid of bad habits. Bad habit number 3 is normalizing debt. And I think in 2025, this has become something that is very very, very normal. Everyone flaunts their credit card debt, their student loans, their car payments, their home mortgage. Just because everybody else has debt doesn't mean you need to add debt to your life. It is okay to be debt-free. I have absolutely zero debt. I have no credit card debt. I have no student loan debt. The only debt that I have is good debt on real estate assets that I own. That is the only debt. And most of that debt, honestly, is non-recourse with multifamily properties, okay? So you want to remove as much debt as you possibly can. And this wasn't always the case for me. You know, back in the day, I had debt. I would get myself into debt to get into some real estate deals or to do this or to do that. I had a credit card debt. I had student loans. I had all these things that I had to pay off. But eventually, once you start having some money coming in, I want you to pay off those debts first. Don't normalize debt just because everybody has it. It is not normal to have that much debt. So take the money you're getting and pay off all your debt. Do not normalize it. Bad habit number 4 is having disorganized finances. And this is probably the number one thing is like when I sit down with somebody and I'm like, hey, how's everything going financially for you? How's your job? How's your credit? How's your this and that? Do you want to invest in real estate? What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? It seems like when I sit down with them, that phone call with them is the first time they've ever actually looked at their finances. How much cash do you have? What's your credit score? How much money are you saving every single month? How much money are you investing every single month? How much are your investments making? And if you just sit down and make an Excel spreadsheet of like literally a profit and loss statement for yourself, like you yourself personally, what is your income? What are your monthly expenses? How much are you saving per month? Where are your expenses going, right? And is there anything we can cut on the expenses? Is there any way to increase our income and have an additional income stream coming in? How much are we saving per month? Where are those investments going? All this kind of stuff, just put it on a Google Sheet. And once you actually start going through it, there should be something on that Google Sheet that kind of sticks out to you. You start noticing something like, holy shit, I spend $3,000 a month on meals. I spend $2,000 a month on flights. Where the hell am I going? Or I have all these recurring charges for Netflix accounts that I don't watch that I bought for my ex-girlfriends. You're gonna notice all these different subscriptions coming in and you're gonna wanna cancel those subscriptions, cancel this, cancel that. It may make you kind of rethink your finances a little bit, which is a good thing because most people don't even do that exercise to begin with. And that is probably the number one thing that you have to do is just get clear on your financial situation. And this again goes for business and for personal. So if you have a business and you don't do that, you might want to rethink your business because business should be driven by the profits that you have, right? And still the people in the process, but profits is the most important thing for your business. So if you don't look at the numbers, you're not going to know how your business is going. So I would do it for your personal and for business or any kind of side hustle that you have. Numbers are going to dictate the game. And for me, for example, if I was going to come and help you personally one-on-one, me and you were going to sit down, that's the first thing I'm going to ask for. What's your profit and loss for you personally, for your business, for your side hustle, for your investments? Like I want to see everything financially numbers because personal finances and money habits and all this kind of stuff, you can remove the emotion away from it and you can just focus solely on logic, which I'm very, very good at, is just focusing on the numbers. So get clear on the numbers before you move forward with anything else. Number 5, trying to look rich. And I live in Miami. This happens all the time. People try to look rich. We have this inside joke coming in, but there's a lot of guys here that are young entrepreneurs. I love it. I love the hustle culture here. And I love networking with these guys that are making insane amounts of money. And they have this money coming in. They have $50,000, $100,000 coming in every single month. And I joke with my friends, I'm like, how does he have 3 supercars? He has 2 mansions. He is on a yacht every single weekend. And we kind of joke that they have $100,000 coming in and $120,000 going out every single month. And some of these guys that make insane money and they're at a really, really young age, they're blowing everything. They're not investing that capital into anything except for the supercar. They're not buying apartment buildings. They're not investing in real estate. They're not putting money in the stock market. They're not putting money into their retirement accounts. They're not doing any of these smart things that people would do. They're not paying off their high interest debt. They are instead buy the supercar to get more debt than to pay off the debt on the other vehicles that they already own, right? So don't believe everything that you see online. Stop trying to look rich. Again, like this kind of goes back to the normalizing debt thing. Like don't normalize the debt just because your friends have it. Just because your friends got a brand new $50,000 car when they got a $2,000 an annual raise and they went and blew 50 grand, like there goes your whole entire raise. Instead of blowing all that money on a new car just because it's normal, look at your situation. Like, I want you to have no debt. I want you to have organized finances, and I don't want you to look rich. Okay? I've gone down that path before. I haven't done the supercar thing yet. I think I might still give that a go when I can buy something cash, which we'll get into later. But stop trying to look rich. And it's something that I've done in the past too. Like I had a huge apartment here in Miami. I was spending $8,000 a month on the apartment for rent. It was a 3-bedroom, 4-bathroom, 2,000 square foot, just me and my girlfriend. We both had our own offices, et cetera, et cetera. And now I moved into this. a 1-bedroom apartment. My girlfriend got her own little studio as well because she makes a lot of content. So we could have looked rich and kept on balling out, but honestly, it was super stressful to have that $8,000 expense when we didn't even like our living situation. So now I have a 1-bedroom apartment and I make videos like this and I make insane amounts of money with all my different businesses, and I'm buying multifamily apartment buildings, and I spend less than $3,000 a month to live. This camera that I'm filming on is $8,000. It's kind of like setting up the priorities in the right way, if that makes sense. Like, I'm spending $8,000 on a camera to give you guys really high quality content, but I don't need to be in some mega mansion to film videos like this. And I would actually say counter to that, if you look at some of Alex Hormozy's old videos, like they're him in his house on his sofa. If you look at some of these other big content creators who are actually out there doing stuff, they're not filming their YouTube videos on a yacht. Graham Stephan is filming videos in his house. Again, very nice setup, but he's not like flaunting his wealth or anything like that, even though they are doing very well financially, because he has other videos talking about how much money he makes, which is a couple $1,000,000 a year. All right, so fit into what everybody else is doing. Stop trying to look rich and don't normalize debt to get rich, because most people who want to show off that they are rich or look rich are the ones that are normalizing the debt, and they have a shitload of consumer debt. All right, bad habit number 6 is poor planning and not managing your calendar. What I mean by this is, even for my mother, who I love, she sometimes forgets to pay her credit card on time. Or, some of my friends are paying their credit card late a little bit. They're not putting it in the calendar that they have to pay off their credit card. These things are very common, but those little like bullshit things kind of compound, right? The $100 late fee, the overdraft fee, this fee, you just get eaten up by fees, right? And the banks love it because they're gonna love you as a client because you never pay your thing on time and you gotta pay a little bit of interest. Like 20% annualized interest for 3 days is still money. You could have gone out to taking your boyfriend to a nice dinner instead of paying for that fucking late fee. So stop being lazy, use your calendar, put your shit in your calendar to pay off your expenses so that you don't miss a fucking payment. Sorry for all the swearing, but please use your calendar. Make the calendar the thing you check every single morning. Make the bank accounts the thing you check every single morning. What do I have to pay? When do I have to pay it? My payment date is this. Great. Put it in the fucking calendar so you can pay it off at that time. All right. Bad habit number 7 is overpaying in taxes. Now, this doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. I don't give a shit about politics. But if you have the ability with your business or your personal finances to invest in something or have certain write-offs to pay less in taxes, don't think about it like, oh, I'm an American. Like, it's delightful to pay taxes. No. If there are certain things in the tax code that you can take advantage of those things. If you want to save your community, if you want to invest in your community, if you want to make more money for your community, I totally agree with that. If you want to save the animals, save the whales, save the polar bears, save the baby seals, whatever the thing is that you want to do, spend your fucking money on that. Don't give it to Uncle Sam, the government who's trillions of dollars into debt. Do something as a write. Even if you donate, it is better donate to that thing, which is a write-off. I think there's a certain limit on a per year basis. I would rather you donate to a cause. Like, how much better is that going to make you feel? Every single year, we actually go and donate to a certain foundation. So it could be like the Wildlife Foundation. My dad likes his old university. He really liked his university, so he donates to that. There's like Lake Tahoe, like Save the Lake, which I love Lake Tahoe. It's my #1 place on earth. Like, I'm donating to that every single year, right? So don't overpay in taxes because you're trying to be a good American. Trust me, you're doing yourself a disservice. I'd rather you take that money and donate it. #1 thing though, because we're talking about bad money habits, is just first try to eliminate as much as you possibly can with your taxes. This comes from hiring a good CPA, finding a good person that can do your bookkeeping, your taxes, your legal, all that kind of stuff. Again, you don't have to spend a ton of money on it, but you're gonna get a good return if you spend good money on a CPA. Because you spend $2,000 on a CPA, boom, they just gotta save you $4,000. We just doubled our money. Go try to do that in the stock market. You can't, okay? So finding a good CPA, spending $2,000 to make $4,000 is gonna be a good place to go. All right, and bad habit number 8 is waiting to invest because you're waiting on more money or waiting to have more capital, okay? This one is complete bullshit. Even if you make $1,000 a month and you have $100 in your bank account, you can still go out there and invest today. And I think back to like when I was around 14 or 15 years old, I set up my first bank account. I think it was under my parents' name, but I was like a co-signer or something like that. But I had a couple $100s and I was investing at that point. I was either investing in more inventory to sell to the kids at school. So more soda, more candy, because that's what I was selling to kids at the time. So I was investing in more inventory to sell to make more money, or I was investing in the stock market. So I actually made a TD Ameritrade account, and that's where I made my first stock market account. And I actually bought Zumi stock. Zumi stock was like $17 at the time. I bought the Zumi stock for $17, ended up selling it for like $38 or something like that. And I was ecstatic. Like, I had just traded my first stock. I had just made my first money in the stock market, and I was taking that money and buying more inventory. So for you, you. Even if you just have a couple $1,000, couple $100 laying over, like where can I invest it? So like this whole entire video is about having your kind of income coming in, paying for your expenses, and then paying yourself first. When you're paying yourself first, what I mean is don't just have that money sitting in a bank account. Have that money start working for you, whether it's $50, $100, $200. Put it in the stock market, put it in your IRA account, buy some real estate with it, invest in a multifamily profit with it. There's so many different ways to invest your money, even at a $50 increment. It's gonna get you in the right habit. It's gonna change your mindset, change the way you think about things. So please don't wait to have more money, because that money in your account, I guarantee you, you're gonna blow that money. If you see $50,000, $1,000 in your savings account, and that's a lot of money to you, because you're gonna book that trip, you're gonna buy that car, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. Put that money into an account you cannot touch: 401k, IRA, savings account, investment property, real estate that's locked up for 5 years. Put your money into those things so that you cannot spend it, because I guarantee you, you will. So with that, what I would like you to do is down below in the comments, which of these bad habits are you guilty of, and what are you gonna do to change it? Thanks so much for staying till the end of the video. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more videos just like this.